Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answer they need from an employment attorney. We have a question here from a YouTube user who I hope is not using their actual name. So I'm not gonna read their name into the video because it is never a great idea when you post your actual name on these questions, and I have a number of videos on the channel about not doing that. But the question reads a little something like this. I have a topic that I have not seen covered anywhere in the YouTube space, and if you could speak on it, that would be great. Hope I can help. What should someone gather for evidence for an EEOC charge when you have a job offer rescinded in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act? And what would be a reasonable settlement offer? I have found comps ranging from 40 to 140K. I had a job offer withdrawn due to a positive drug test, the HR manager's words, not mine, after trying no less than 5 times to give them the medical proof required. Also, I was discouraged from contacting the drug testing site to clear up the issue after she finally responded to multiple messages following up on my orientation. I have text conversations prior to the test results disclosing medication as well as a mention of my disability. So it's not a he said, she said situation. Okay. So my read of the question, I'll say it based on my understanding. This YouTube user has a medical disability, takes medication for that disability, disclosed during the hiring process prior to the drug testing that there is a lawfully prescribed medication tied to this disability that she or he is taking, and then had the job offer rescinded when that lawfully prescribed medication showed up on the drug test prior to employment. We'll start with, is that a claim? Yes, generally speaking, that's going to be a claim. You have a disability, taking the medication is required for that disability, and certain realities in terms of the testing must be acknowledged. There has to be an accommodation in terms of testing because you are taking the lawful medication that you require for your disability. So yes, I would say the ADA certainly covers that. Now I'm going to go through your questions kind of one after the other. You asked generally, what should someone gather for evidence for an EEOC charge when you have a job offer rescinded in violation of the ADA? So that is a general question, and I'll answer it generally, and then I'll answer it for you. Generally speaking, any piece of evidence you can supply that goes to show that you lost your job offer because of your disability is useful. You should include all of that, right? That is going to be your case. That is the backbone and the core of your case. Any piece of evidence that reflects that you lost a job offer because of your disability. And when I say reflects, like, let's break that down. Any piece of evidence that would cause a reasonable finder of fact, so a judge or a jury or an arbitrator, to think that you lost this job offer because of your disability. That's the evidence you want, right? Very general answer, but that's something that a lot of people view as like, that's too simple. No, that's the whole thing. That's the game. That's what we're doing here, right? Now, I suspect you probably wanted something a little more tailored to you. So I'll say this. You've got text conversations of you disclosing your disability and your medication. You've got a positive drug result where the medication that you took for your disability showed up on a drug test. First 2 data points. Third one's going to be the rescinding the job and you recounting what the HR manager said to you, that the job was rescinded because of a positive drug test. Those are the stars of the show. That's your story, right? You're conveying a story, a narrative supported by evidence that would lead a judge, jury, or arbitrator to believe that you lost this job because of your disability. That's the core of it, right? That's the simplest way to present that case. There's always going to be more, but that's what we're talking about here. Now, the third and I think final part of your question is you're asking for the valuation of your claim. I'm not going to do that for you because I have a whole playlist on this channel on how to calculate damages. Now, What I will say, though, is we have a playlist on how to calculate damages, but I'll give the caveat that failure to hire cases are generally higher risk, and higher risk cases generally are valued lower in settlement because people are hedging for risk. That's generally true. Here, for you, that may not be true because it sounds like you have a lot of these things in writing, right? Sounds like you have a very clear-cut case that you lost a job that you were being hired for because you have a disability that you need to take medication for. I don't know that that really has the usual extra helping of risk that you might see in a failure to hire case. I don't know that it does. So I don't know if you should hedge your risk and take less on settlement than you might otherwise, right? And I can't provide you a personalized damages calculation. That would take hours. But I can say, generally speaking, I don't feel there's quite as much risk in this claim as you're describing it to me, assuming everything you're saying is true, which I'm sure it is. It would not have the additional helping of risk that you would normally see in a failure to hire case. And usually that risk in failure to hire cases comes specifically from the idea of like, well, employers don't hire most of the people that they interview. So it's hard to prove necessarily that your disability or whatever other protected class is in play is the reason why they didn't hire you, right? That's a big hurdle to get over because they're going to say, listen, we didn't hire like 70 people. You're one of 70 we didn't hire. We hired one. We didn't hire 70. So I don't think your protected class is necessarily a reason we didn't hire you, right? That's quite the defense argument. It's really got some legs on that one, right? So those cases tend to have extra risk in them, and you want extra evidence. Here, it appears you have the extra evidence, potentially, right? So I wish you luck. I hope you get a big payday. I hope you use that damages calculation playlist and it goes well for you. I'm sorry you have to deal with this, but I will check the comments on this video. If you have follow-up questions, I will try to make you follow-up videos. If this video is helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below. It helps me to help more people just like you. Remember, almost everybody works, but not everybody wins. Stay smart out there.